We do have a requirement that if you're going to be a meet referee, that you participate in training. When we looked at it, there's so few changes this year that we're just going to highlight a couple of issues. But then everybody who's going to be in that role should go and look at the video that was online from last year. So you'll find that under the NCAA section on our website, under the judging resources, and you'll see that training videos. There are just a few new things. Lois mentioned the yellow card report. That is a responsibility that the meet referee has, that we give that yellow card report and send it in, even if there was not a deduction taken. That was because the ethics committee for the WCGA didn't have any idea how many of these were coming, because they only got the ones in which there was a deduction. And we rarely have to give that deduction. So we kept talking about coach behavior and the need to work on that. And they didn't really have any documentation that it was a problem. So now we're going to start sending in the yellow card reports, and they will have that documentation. The missing judge procedure, the meet referee will be involved in making that decision, and Lois covered that. You can review that here as a refresher. Things that stayed the same, that our names will be public this year. They weren't able to get that worked out, even though there's consensus, I think, that our names will be removed. It's just logistical issues. It's going to come back before the coaches at their convention in May. Judges must stay until all coaches sign the score sheet. The routine summary process, we'd made several suggestions last year. There actually is no changes. So this year we will have the same as we've had in the past. Areas of emphasis, be sure, meet referee, that you review the inquiry form for correct completion. There were a couple of examples last year, not many, that they didn't know how to complete that form. So you might even have to review that in your pre-meeting. And it seems very basic to us, but having seen some examples where they were filled out incorrectly and incomplete, it would be really helpful to make sure that everybody knows how to respond to an inquiry correctly. The video inquiries worked really well last year, but were underutilized. I think that people were a little uncomfortable with it. This year, NAJ has developed a short 6-minute video on the video inquiry process. The purpose is to help judges and coaches become more familiar with the process and the potential outcomes. 4 different scenarios are provided. First, the score goes up. There's 2 scenarios for this situation. Next, the score stays the same. And finally, the score goes down. The video is posted on the NAJ website, and we hope that all meet referees will review this process prior to competitions. On-site reviews, the meet referee can either select those, or the meet referee can ask the chief judge to select them. The meet referee makes sure that they get done, that the chief judge selects and decides which on-site reviews you're going to do. Please review the routine summary forms before you return those forms to the coach. You might be able to catch something that the judge said incorrectly. That will help it maintain the integrity of the process and also help that judge keep from getting a negative evaluation. We have 20-something new judges this year, so we're looking forward to seeing them. So we hope that as a meet referee, you can reach out to them, make sure they're comfortable, know what to do, where to go, where to sit, all that kind of thing, because it can be a little intimidating at first. The meet referee has a very delicate balance here. There's a split opinion among the coaches. I'd say about half of them think they want their most experienced judge judging, not meet reffing. And the other half want that meet referee to be the most experienced judge out there on the floor. And there's no consensus on that. All we can do is follow the rules that we have. And we have expanded the role of the meet referee, and you'll see that as you read through your checklist. But basically, we can't stop in the middle and say, oh, that routine was scored too low. However, you can intervene if you see that a judge is not flashing their start value or their score simultaneously. There was a question in the chat: can a panel judge call a conference when they see that something is wrong, that there's maybe an impossible start value, or if they see that their chief judge is not flashing their start value and score simultaneously? And the answer to the question is no, you can't call a conference. What you can try to do is get the attention of a meet referee. If that's easier said if you've got a walking meet ref than if you don't, but then you can ask the meet referee to try to intervene. And then watch your judges if you're a meet ref to see if they do need your help, because sometimes they are picking up something that's wrong procedurally and you can help them. A couple of comments we got in the evaluations last year was that I was so busy doing all the things I had to do for a meet rep, I just couldn't get to everything. Well, notating the routines is important, but all your other duties take priority. So don't feel that you have to be notating those routines if you've got other things to take care of, conferences, inquiries, coaches need help, questions. Pay attention to those things first. A purpose of us notating the routines is just in case a coach comes to you and says, did you see that routine? I'm going to put in this inquiry. You can look and see what you had, and that will help you understand the question the coach is asking, and you'll have your own perspective on it. Some issues from the coaches last year, we'll go through a couple of them quickly. Consistency, application of the rules, and routine summaries, and not being consistent. They, of course, want us to be consistent, meet to meet, weekend to weekend, across teams, across conferences, from Friday to Saturday. I'm going to show one of the videos we showed this summer, one to show what the frustration is. So you can just globally get a score for that vault. Then you can globally get a score for this vault. And then what you'll see happened is the first gymnast had a 9.8 score, and the second gymnast had a 9.6 score. Now, those were very different quality vaults, with the first one should have been scoring lower, and the second one certainly should have been higher. And we see that that is part of what they're talking about in terms of inconsistency. I'm going to let you know a little bit about what's happening with social media. If you were at Symposium, we had 3 speakers who addressed social media. The college judges were really the target last year of some uncivil behavior and even some threats. So we did ask 3 different people to come and to address this. Those are posted on our website. There's just parts posted. We just pulled out the sections that were relevant to the social media situation, and it's trying to help us understand how to handle these, what to do about it. And so hopefully you'll find that helpful. Naj joined an organization called Officially Human. Officially Human is basically an organization that has now dedicated itself to restoring respect for officials. This is a problem across the country, it's all over the world. And that's why we're so thankful to the WCGA for writing the new statement that they did for social media, which hopefully will serve as a model for others as well. There are consequences for judges. Lois alluded to this slightly, but I'm going to be more specific. The new policy is that participation in unprofessional or unethical behavior may result in the loss of assignment to a conference championships, perhaps not that same year, but the next year, or postseason events of reduction in future assignments. If you're judging college, just stay away from making comments on social media about a meet, about a comment that a coach made. Don't like it, don't unlike it, don't do any of those things. The coaches are actually taking screenshots and a few occasions have sent those to us to say that a judge has violated our code of ethics, basically. So we're trying to be upfront with this and let you know that you would be in non-compliance with our canons and rules, as well as those of our Coaches Association.